a quick impromptu live, not scheduled or anything, but somebody needs to hear this. I wouldn't normally come on at around 10 o'clock in the morning. Haven't even had breakfast yet, but somebody needs to hear this. So, yesterday we did this word game, right? How many words can you find with mindless crafting? And from one word came many. Look at all of these. But as I'm thinking about it, and Bill and I were discussing, look how many different words came from many. And there's probably more words that could come from this. But one word could make up so much. And just like us as individuals, one idea, right? Just like one word, one person can have so many ideas from one. From one word, many more words were created. From one person, so many different things that you might want to be, want to do in life are created. You have the ideas, right? The ideas are already inside of you, one individual, and the ideas are limitless. And so, my message to you is keep writing those ideas down. If you're thinking about it, write it down. Even if it seems like the most impossible idea, write it down. Write it down. Bill and I are two individuals. Bill has so much more music inside of him. It may seem like one thing. It's the music, it's the speaking life into people, different facets. Each of us have different things that we want to do. And the ideas keep coming. As you move through life, the ideas are going to keep coming. And so I just wanted to get on here and talk about this just for a moment. One word comes many, many words. One person, right? From one person comes many ideas. And just like us, me and Bill may have started something like a ripple, or I may have done a project that inspires you, and now there's many projects out there. Just like what we always talk about, that ripple in the water. So when you have an idea, don't just sit on it. Even if you don't want to take that step, at least you can write it down. If you have your phone on you, type it into your notes or something where you can't get to a pen and paper. Write it in your notes. Have something like a journal or something that you can just write your ideas down. Does that make sense to anybody? I bet from my name, Tracey, that I can find lots of different words. Who else is on here? From Hey Flyness, 79, we could find lots of different words. From Ava Lee, lots of different words. From inside of each person, lots of different ideas. Yeah, you could even take your phone and voice record, right? An idea. You have that record button on your phone. You could voice record it. Let's see what y'all are saying. I'm on again, Ava Lee. I couldn't help it. Hey, what a treat. Hey, sissy pants. But do y'all understand that though? As we walk through life, more ideas are going to come from us. More things are going to stem from something that we do. So even though you're one person, you have many different ideas coming from that one person.
Lee says you're right. Give a paintbrush to 10 people and you get 10 completely different canvases.
Yes.
And her flyer says, hey, I was thinking about doing this with my full name, but only positive affirming words.
Yes. So from Ava Lee's name, we would get certain words, right? From Sarah's name, we'd get different words. So each of us, look how good God is. And look how he created us as individuals with thinking minds, with different styles of creativity. But I just wanted to come on here and let you know that because someone's thinking of something. Like the first thing you can do, though, if you want to start something, start with the idea. And even go back and rehash over that list of ideas. And something may really jump out at you and say, you might say, you know what, today I'm going to start the first step to make this happen.
You know something else? Her flyness. This just came to me as a thought. While you're also using your full name, her flyness is actually a real thing now. You've created. People know you. Thousands, possibly, definitely
Right.
hundreds of people know you as her flyness.
Yep.
So you might want to consider taking her flyness and putting that through the process also, because believe it or not, you both of you are the same person.
Yep.
Yeah.
From thoughts, be, right, exactly, Sarah. From thoughts, there are great products being developed from thoughts, right? Many of you have the most wonderful ideas. Y'all have given me some great ideas that I would have never thought about. But just sharing what we do and continuing to just do what we do, there have been so many ideas that come just from that. So one word comes many words. From one person becomes many ideas, many different creations. So you don't have to limit yourself. Some of those thoughts that come to your mind may be something that is bigger than you can possibly imagine. Write it down. Write it down.
And you know what's really interesting? The more, when you write them down and the more you think about them and
Yep.
mull over them,
Yep.
it seems like there are other people start to come into your life uh, to assist you in the growth of that particular concept.
Yep. The right people. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like you have to be in place not only to think of these words, but you have to put yourself in a listening state. You have to learn to listen to those things that come to you and then write them down. Just
Yep.
listen without judgment. Just accept, write them down, write them down, write them
Right.
down, and come back later.
Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it seems bigger than what you can even imagine. God's vision for us is greater than we can ever imagine.
And if you can't do it by yourself, He'll send you the people
Yes, He will.
to help you to bring that into realization.
Yep. So we just wanted to come on for a moment because someone needs to hear this going into the weekend. There's an idea that they have that they put aside for a little bit. They may have written it down in a journal and then closed the book. But someone needed to hear this. And that's why we're on right now.
And that's why you're here, Tyler.
I'm not sure if y'all are still on here.
You have some here. Oh, hold up.
Let's see, because it looks like my camera froze for a moment. You're so welcome. So you know what? Go head into the weekend and be great. Be great. Happy birthday, Ava Lee.
Yes, Ava Lee.
Yeah. There's someone out there doing something that's going to be just absolutely phenomenal. And when I think about all of the things the journey that Bill and I have been on with the business and with YouTube, all we had to do is put it out there. And from one channel became thousands of videos. Right? From having one Etsy store, Sarah, having one Etsy store came many products. So just wanted to come on and let y'all know that. I'm going to go have some breakfast.
I'm going to make it for her, like Hector does for Carmina.
See, from one Hector becomes many. Tyler Dager says, I wish Shannon was on here. She always doubts herself and decisions. I keep trying to tell her it will all work out. Yes, you tell her that, Tyler, because guess what? Even with her doubts, she continues to create. And her creations are so unique and different. Tell her to keep going, Tyler. Tell her to keep going. So I'm glad you shared that with us.
Tyler, you know what? If Shannon had even the barest glimmer of how many people she's actually assisted and helped far beyond crafting already, she would probably fall to her knees with tears
Yes.
running down her face.
Yep.
She has no idea.
She has no idea
what she's set in motion already in the midst of her doubts.
Yep. In the midst of her doubts, she keeps going.
She's asking herself, am I wasting my time?
Yep.
Why am I doing this? It's helping no one. Oh, but, how wrong you are.
Yep. It's helping a lot of people. And just knowing what both of y'all are going through as parents, it's actually inspiring.
It is inspiring, Tyler.
To know that y'all keep pushing, that y'all keep moving in the direction that needs to go, that she keeps creating, even with so much.
And even you, Tyler, standing there in a rock in your family.
Yeah.
In the midst of such challenge, people probably couldn't even imagine what you're doing, but you're still standing there. You're still there standing.
Still going.
You're still there.
These are the stories that we need to hear. These are the testimonies that we need to hear. It's not by accident that Bill and I are on here. I had to be obedient and come on this morning because someone needs to hear this, because someone feels like I don't have ideas that are worthy. Write them down. You're thinking that it's not worthy, but sometimes it takes someone else to believe in you until you start believing in you. And this is why I love Mindless Crafting in our community, is because even in the midst of someone having self-doubt, we lift them up and say, you know what? You can do this. You got this. Shannon created the channel, and then she stepped away from her channel for a little bit, Tyler. We know Shannon's history. We know her history. And so she stepped away from the channel for a little bit, and that's all right. And then she came back. She came back and started again. Tell her to stop focusing on numbers when she has her channel. When I focused on the numbers, we didn't grow. When I stopped focusing on the numbers, we started to grow. I focused more on helping someone. Who is that person that needs this video? I don't care if only 3 people watch it, but maybe one of those 3 people will start a business because of something I created, which sparked something in them. From one, you can reach many. From one person, many ideas. And not only that, Shannon not only has she's supposed to do something great, right? And the fact that she gets up every day and she's still putting stuff out there, still helping others, still inspiring others. The fact that she's still doing that, still walking, even through the midst of adversity, she's still walking. She's inspiring others. So it's not about just creating, it's also about inspiring others. How can I get something that Shannon shared, maybe getting someone else through whatever that thing is? Because even though sometimes we go through darkness, we need someone to shine bright for us so that we can find our way through the darkness. So if it requires us being the light to pull someone out the darkness, then let me shine my light on you.
Tyler says she inspires me every day. That's for sure.
She inspires us too. Tell her we're watching. Okay. Hey, Karen Hankerson. Yeah, but we just wanted to come on and just say that because someone needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear it. Someone's saying, I don't have any ideas. Yes, you do.
And you know what, Tyler? You inspire me. You know, Trace and I have talked about this before. You're like a shining star, a hero. You know how many guys would have left, would have said, you know what, I cannot deal with this. But you know what? You're still there, standing.
Yep.
Do you understand?
Right. Still
being your wife's
you are. Being your wife's biggest cheerleader.
No matter, here's the thing, no matter what your wife is going through, no matter how deep it gets for her, or how down she is, she knows at some point when she wakes up and opens her eyes, she's gonna look up and she's gonna see you, no matter what. She's convinced of that one thing. You're something else, Tyler.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
Right. So some of you have idea of writing a book, right? Some of y'all have an idea of writing a book. I bet you everyone on here can write a book because it's a book about you.
Well, it's a book about some aspect
or something,
of
right,
your life.
Right. Some aspect of your
something,
life.
Even something you've seen, someone else's life that you've seen that you have insight into that no one else does. You know.
Write it down. And guess what? You may say, well, I don't know where to start. Just start. I only have an ending. Start at the end and work your way. I'm in the middle. Start in the middle. Right? You don't have to start your story at the beginning. You can start wherever you are.
Sarah says individuals with great ideas and thoughts always struggle.
Yep.
They will become great in life. Because they will become great in life.
Yep.
Her Friday says, I have a million ideas. We'll start writing at 1, and then 2, and then 3.
How many ideas are in our head and we don't seize the moment to write it down or voice record it or whatever? That may have been the winning idea right there.
How many times have you gone to the store and you've seen something and you thought to yourself, man, I had that same idea right there 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I sat on it. And now you go to Walmart or something and you see it everywhere or on TV and everyone's hailing it as just so incredible. And you think to yourself, but I thought of this.
Yep. And it could be an idea. It could be an idea for something that you want to start in your community. Maybe there's something in your community where you want to have something where you're teaching crafts or spending time with someone who can't get out of their home. It just depends.
There are many of us who express ourselves in life through the ideal that someone else has convinced us that this is who we are. Sometimes you have to actually say, let me be quiet and listen to find out just who I am.
Yeah.
And let me start acting accordingly day by day, concept by concept. I'm going to become who it is that I say that I am, and not those people that are around us, most of them who are naysayers.
Yeah.
Who want me to walk into their vision of who they say I am.
Right. And sometimes when you're doing that, when you're going through some stuff where you have a lot of naysayers, it's almost like this is why ideas never get off the ground, because someone says, I don't think that's going to work. Huh? I don't think that's going to work. It never even started. So if you don't even start it, then for sure it's not going to work. There may be somebody out here that wants to have a center where kids can feel loved and safe after school or something. There's someone that has an idea for that. But because someone said, child, these kids these days, but guess what? You may have the thing that can reach those children. It doesn't have to be someone else. Someone else will say, "Well, girl, I can't be around kids." Okay, then don't. But I'm gonna. This is something I want to do.
Right. And how many of you have been in situations and settings, whether at work, in at church, in your family settings, or somewhere, where it seems like the entire group, the group mind is what they call it, is just screaming yes, but everything in you is screaming no. This is not right. I don't think this. This is what is coming to me. But instead of saying it, we cover our mouths and say, I can't say this. What will they think?
Mm-hmm.
What will they say? Who am I? I'm nobody. No.
What they think that stops our growth.
Right. There comes that moment where when that thing is screaming inside of you, and you actually have to take that moment and say, okay, this is the moment right here where I can begin to be me. I can begin to be me right now by saying no. And you'd be surprised how many people in the group feel exactly the same way, but they're afraid of what
someone might say.
is going to say.
What are they going to say if I start my business?
Yes, Kimberly Johnson, this is for real.
What will they say? What will they say? It's the what will they say. I'm going to do this regardless. I know that people used to talk about me at work. True story, y'all. They used to talk about me and whisper at work when I would do my YouTube stuff. You like my YouTube channel. And I knew they were watching, but they wouldn't comment about it because she got this YouTube channel. She be always making videos and stuff, like, but what if I would have listened to those same people? What if I would have listened? Then I couldn't be here today talking to all of you, sharing ideas, inspiring and motivating. What if I would have listened?
Exactly. And you know what? What's really interesting is in most cases, you don't have to say anything to those people. You just follow that ideal and everything will sort itself out. As an example, I remember when Tracey, she wrote that book, Where's My Sneaker? Our own library system wouldn't even put it in the library, okay? They wouldn't even put it in the library. You never even putting other books in the library. They wouldn't even put this one in the library system, okay? Fine. Every year, not only this county, but all across the state, they get all the librarians, they send them to this one college where they have keynote speakers, the authors who wrote stuff like the Little Caterpillar, famous books we've seen all our life, right? And so now, while they won't put this book in the library, while they won't recognize it,
they sure wouldn't.
They got all the librarians and they make them go to this one thing at this state college, and lo and behold, they're all sitting there, and the keynote speaker is, guess who? Tracey Phillips, the librarian, who they wouldn't acknowledge, who's now being acknowledged on a whole nother level. They're sitting there like, oh my goodness.
I forgot about that. That's a good analogy. Yep.
Right. You don't have to, oftentimes don't have to say anything.
Your idea doesn't have to appeal to everybody.
It doesn't.
No.
Even to the ones you think it should. Now, these people are the authorities. If they recognize who I am, then I'm going to be somebody.
Yep.
You don't have to be recognized by them.
Right.
They're not even big enough to understand the idea that's been given to you from on high. See, oftentimes you're thinking of these ideals. These ideals are being given to you.
Yep. And who would have thought, that a children's, I'm a children's librarian and I can't even get the book that I wrote into the system. And I've done hundreds of storytime programs that were filled to the max. I mean, really. I forgot about that.
Right. So
But that's just that. But and that's one idea, one book. A lot of you have many books inside of you right now. You have ideas for books, right? So even if you were to write down something like this, right? I'm just gonna just do an example. I want to write a book, right? And from that could become, I want to write a children's book, right? Children's book. And from that can be, I got some recipes I would like to share. And now you have a recipe book. And not only that, you're like, well, you know what? I like books, but I would like to write a book, but I also want to self-publish that book. And then not only that book, I want to release it in a digital format. So from the book comes many ideas. And not only that, I want to speak on a platform because I have something to say about the book that I wrote. So you see what's happening? You see what's happening? And now you make your recipes. You're invited on some kind of show to share your recipes, right? Or to demonstrate one of your recipes. Or, well, I got these recipes, but I want to have a cooking channel on YouTube. Right? You don't have to wait for anybody. You can self-publish your book. You can self-publish your children's book.
Now, one thing that's in between all of this, I'm sure while she's writing this, questions are going through your mind. You're saying, but I don't know how do you know what? You have YouTube University. You have all kind of resources out here. The biggest answer begins with the biggest question.
Yep.
Okay. So depending on how big you want that answer to be, you ask the biggest question possible, and you begin on your journey of how. Trust me, there's so many people out there on YouTube and other platforms that have done something like this. You just start watching, take notes, and as you start to sleep, it'll marinate, and all of a sudden, the how-tos start filling up in here, and then you just continue with this process Tracey's talking about.
Deb C said, yep, just shows how one decision or action could change your life. Deb, I'm going to tell you about that book. When I wrote the children's book, okay, the library wouldn't take it. I get invited to go. I read the book on my little Storybug channel, right? Where's my sneaker? So I had the channel already. When the publisher actually approached me about writing a book, you know what my thought was? You know what I said? I don't write books. I read books. I don't know how to draw pictures. She said, I got that handled. I have an illustrator.
I don't know how to do it.
So I was talking myself out of a thing. She said, all I need is your words. I have the person that can do it. I have the people that can bind the book together. All of that. I'm thinking about all the steps like, I don't know. I'm a librarian. I wasn't seeing myself as an author. I was seeing myself as a librarian. And that was my thing. That's what I did for 20 something years. So I read the books, but I can't write a children's book. But she said, who would better know what the elements of a children's book should be than you? She said, just give me your words.
Right, she said, and so take it a page at a time. She said, don't think about the whole book. She says, what do you want on this page? Yep.
And so she saw something in me that I didn't even see. I see something in Shannon that Shannon doesn't see. Her flyness. I see something in her flyness that she may not even see. Sarah, right? Everybody.
Right, Kimberly Johnson.
One idea, right? This is what me and Bill were talking about. One idea. Then that same children's book gets picked up by a company. Not even a company. It's a place called the First Foundation, FERST. The First Foundation has like a monthly a monthly thing where they send out books to children in low income households that may not have books. Guess whose book goes out? Last thing I think it went out to 7,500 children who normally do not have books in their home. Through the First Foundation. One idea, y'all, one idea.
And the key, here's the thing. Tracey never wouldn't know the First Foundation from Adam.
I didn't. All
she did was made the book, put it out there, and then every step that you take, someone else is taking 1 or 2 steps towards you.
Yeah. That book is right there. Let me show them what it says in it. So they handled all of the publishing. I just had to come up with the idea, right? This is what they took care of. Let's see if I can find it. Might not be the one. There's a little blurb. This may not be one of them. That has their picture in it. But this is the actual book. And some of the books have their like seal in it, like distributed to the children from the First Foundation. But what an amazing thing that has been. Like the book has been distributed for the past how many years?
And you know what? You'll look at this thing, you'll say, what is this? This is not this little thing. Look at it.
Picture book for kids.
What is this? Is nothing. No one's got it's not even worthy of a thought. And you'll toss it to the side, not realizing this one book right here will become the main staple in a lot of kids' lives. They will read this book over and over and over and over again. I remember we were in the hospital, and when the nurse came in and said, can you come and can you have a book you can give this little 4-year-old African-American child? You know, Tracey said, yes, here's a book. We were getting ready to leave because Ariel had been in the hospital about a month that time. We were finally leaving. And Tracey signed the book and gave it to him. The day before, we were about to pull out of the room. We had everything packed up. The nurse, the coordinator came and said, could you meet the little boy? He wants to meet you. And we went in the room with this little boy. He has an IV attached to him with all kind of dials and stuff all over the place. And he's standing on it, and he's holding the book, and he looks up at Tracey. And then her picture's on the back of the book, right? So he starts looking at the picture and he looks at her. He says, is this you? She says, yes. Yes, it is. Is this your book? Yes. Then he turns and he goes, that's me.
He sure does.
I was like, and you know, here's the thing. One of the things that Tracey used to always talk about was the fact that the readership for African American boys was so low because they didn't see themselves in books. When they went to the libraries, you never saw any black boys or hardly or black girls in books or on covers or whatever.
Over the years, yes.
So they didn't want to read them.
It's getting better now, but still more needs to be done.
And when he saw that just a boy doing something normal, playing with a dog, something he would do, he said, just that is fun. Me.
Just having fun, right?
That is me. Now, this may not be nothing to anyone else, but to that boy, it is absolutely life-changing.
Right.
Because he sees himself now as someone worthy of being written about.
Yep.
That is a seed that can never be replaced. That is growing forever in that child.
Right. So when you think about making an impact, one idea that comes from you can make an impact in the lives of so many people. And so that's one of the things when people say, well, what keeps you motivated? Being able to make an impact, being able to be a blessing. I have even larger ideas of bigger things I want to do. Just things through the roof that only God can help me with to get there.
Right, like Tracey's
talking about. But guess what I'm doing? Even though I'm not there yet, I'm still writing it down, right? So from the children's book comes a little cartoon, right? That's something that can happen. There's all these things that happen from one idea, y'all. Are y'all getting the analogy? Mindless crafting. One word, many words. One person, many ideas.
Right. And often you would say, I don't know the right format. I want to do a cooking channel, but I don't know how to do it I can't even think of the names of the people that do the cooking channels. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Auntie Fee, do you think her format is like anything you've ever seen? She just said, you know what? She told her son, cut on the camera right now.
Right. We don't know how much, going back to that, we don't know how much time we have. You know? So you may as well go ahead and do that thing. Get past whatever is holding you back. The idea may seem so big. You can just do the research. Just do the research on the thing. You can always write it down. You got a pen and paper? It starts there. Just write it down.
Right, Francis Emerald. That's exactly what I was trying to think of.
Just write it down.
I couldn't think of Emerald to save my life. Is your hand stuck?
Oh, I don't know.
It looks like we're frozen.
I'm not sure if
Okay,
we're
we're
frozen
moving
right
now.
now. Are we moving? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Shannon, you said Tyler said he told on me about my numbers. Yes. You don't, and the thing is about your ideas that you have, you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody about your ideas. You write them down, okay? Someone may look at your, don't even share the ideas with anyone. Someone may look at your ideas and they may say, you know what?
And your production is top notch.
I don't think that she's going to do that. And then not only will they tell you that they don't think you can do it, they'll go and tell other people. Keep your ideas to yourself.
But guess what? They're
write them
talking
down.
about you. Guess what? They're talking about you, which means you're doing something right.
You're doing something right.
Hi, Anita Dawson.
From one idea comes many.
You know what? Shannon says, I think my past has messed up my future self-confidence. You know what?
Yep.
So now what you, Shannon, you say, you know what, past? Thank you for being there for me, but I no longer need you to hold me up.
Right. But I've learned some things from my past.
Right.
You have an empathy for people, Shannon.
Right.
Because so many has happened. You can write a book about your journey and how you are moving through life. You and Tyler, y'all can be a couple that talks on this because you're only talking about yourself and how you're making it with the challenges of your sons, right? So that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother platform.
Because you're being,
but you can tie that into your crafting.
You're being even more authentic. Shannon, you want to know something? You want to know when Mark's channel really took off, the Quilting Marine? It took off when he actually revealed the story of his PTSD. And the reason why he actually started the channel was because he was dealing with extreme PTSD in his life as a result of being a Marine for like 20 years or so. Okay. And when he did that, all of a sudden everything exploded and his channel became much bigger.
Here's what he did.
Than quilting.
But here's what he did. When I said, Mark, come and help me on my channel by unboxing my sewing machine. You know what the best thing he said was?
What?
He said yes. That's the most powerful thing he said. Because if he would have said no, it stops there. But he said yes. And that's how I even learned about him quilting because of his PTSD and so many others. And that's how his channel started.
And then people started reaching out from all over the place about that. And can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you speak on this? And next thing you knew, it took on a whole nother life that completely differentiated it from any other quilting channel.
Yep. So yeah, we just wanted to come on and
exactly
and talk to y'all.
Shannon says, that's why I encourage our boys as much as possible. I don't want them to ever feel like they're not good enough, like I was made to feel by my
Yes,
father.
that part right there. That part right there, Shannon. I'm right there with you.
Exactly, Francis. Francis says, I always think about the Lance Armstrong book. It's not about the bike. Right. But when we see it, what he's done with the bike is so extraordinary. We're actually blinded by that, not realizing that the real story is far on the other side of the bike. And the bike is the only thing that you see.
Right. It's not just about crafting. It's more than just crafting, right? For us, we've been brought together by crafting, but it's more than that. More than that. And I used to be, when people used to say, Tracey, you and Bill have a ministry, that would scare me. That would scare me. I'm like, ministry?
Because
oh
the
goodness.
Thought of a ministry always comes packaged in a certain way.
Yes. And that's what had me like, ooh, I don't know. That's like,
I got to be in a suit and a pulpit or something if you talk about that.
Art therapy.
But
yep, you're so right though. You know, that was the whole thing. And now I'm more comfortable in stepping into those shoes. That if this has to be a ministry, if this is a ministry, then let it be that. It didn't happen by accident. When we started the YouTube channel, it didn't happen just by, I'm like, how am I going to get, what are people going to want? Like, how am I going to share videos and have ideas? Am I going to run out of ideas? Now, what, we have close to 1,500 videos on this channel. You don't run out of ideas. They just keep coming. If you keep walking through that thing, imagine when you start a project. When you start a project, right? Sometimes you don't know what it's going to be. You can pick up this little piece of paper right here, and you may not know what it's going to be. But from that one thing comes an idea. From this, now there's a sentiment on it. It has lines, so I can write something on it. Or I like the shape of it, I can make a card. I can put something around it to make it even bigger. So from one thing, many ideas. But guess what? You have to start. And how do you start? By writing it down. Write it down.
Right, Francis. Francis says we can relate to people who are real and show their struggles.
And show their struggles.
Right.
I had to be comfortable with showing my struggles. That was the whole thing. I had to be comfortable with sharing some of the things that I grew up in. So I don't mind sharing if it's going to spark something in someone else. That is the mission. That's the reason why I have to share my testimony so that someone who is barely holding on can make it through. Someone that has an idea that says, you know what, today I'm going to go research this idea and I'm going to write stuff down. And each and every day I'm going to do just little bite-sized things to move toward this idea, to make this idea become something.
And you know something that's interesting? The ideal is so universal. When you start speaking on your particular journey, it's so universal that it doesn't even matter the audience. I remember Tracey talked about, we were up at the college talking about, Tracey was talking about elements of her upbringing and the physical abuse that took place with her mother and just growing up through it as a child and all kinds of stuff. And there are people in the audience crying tears. I'm talking slathering tears, okay, who came up and talked to her later on about it. But then we're at an elementary school and some of the hardest looking kids who came in at some point in her story are crying. Fifth graders, okay? So what I'm saying is, trust me, there are people who are going through, who are putting up all of these facades about, I'm so tough, I'm so this, I'm so that. But when you open up and say, you know what, I'm going to take off my armor for a second. Let me share something with you about who I am and what I lived through.
Right. And then maybe there's someone else
And
you
let
can
me show
relate.
you that if I went through this, so can you. And you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be absolutely surprised. That's where that testimony comes into place. Right, Deb C. She says, yep, trying to present ourselves as being perfect when no one is. It doesn't help anyone. Honesty is the best policy.
It is.
That's
And I
exactly
think
it.
that's where people um get caught up in is they have to show like perfection all the time. And you ask people who having mental breakdowns over perfection.
The imperfection is what makes you who you are.
Yep.
Sarah Johnson says because everyone can relate to the story and want to see that success.
Yes. Yep.
And Tina Barker said so. Oh no, Sarah Johnson said write the vision and make it plain.
Make
But
it
Tina
plain.
Barker said, where did Tina? She said something good. Where's it at? It disappeared.
Write the ideas down.
Tina said something good stuff. Where's it at? Sorry, Tina, I lost it.
For some reason I can't see the comments up there anymore. Hey, God's Rain. We're just on here for a little bit because we had to say something that about ideas and how when you're only one person, so many ideas can come from one individual person. So many different ideas. And so that's what we were talking about. And so write it down because guess what? It's your idea. It's your individual idea. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Write it down. Man, this idea looks too big. Write it down. There's no way. I don't even know about this idea. I don't even know. I'm not an expert in this. Write it down.
In between Google and YouTube, I was working on something yesterday on Photoshop, right? And something happened in Photoshop, and I couldn't figure it out at all. And you know what I did though? I said, I am not going to struggle on this because I know someone has been through this. I quickly typed into Google what the problem was the best way I could. I probably wasn't even calling things by the right name, as y'all know I probably wasn't. And guess what? The problem came right up in words. I did what it said. It took about 10 seconds to solve. You know, it was amazing. So I only say that to say that when you encounter that snag, don't let that thing hold you back.
Don't
Just
let it
go
hold you
ahead
back.
and quickly type into Google or YouTube, or there's someone out there that knows the answer real quick. Do what they said and we'll keep it moving. Gaytan is not first today.
She just woke up. Yeah, but you don't have to have it all figured out. Just write down the idea. Write down the idea. Your channel is your channel, right? You can say, well, I want to be on TV. Make a channel. I want to have my own channel. What do you want to teach? Right? I want to teach knitting, right? Let's start there. What else do you want to teach? I want to teach. This could be another channel even, which is how we ended up with 2 channels. It could be something about hair. That might be something that you love doing.
It could be something about anything, basically.
Right? And now from the hair thing, now you've developed a product. From the knitting thing, you've developed your own line of yarn, right? Your own yarn, because you would know, because you knit, you would know what kind of yarn you would like to use. So I'm just saying these could be different channels.
But you know,
Ariel started hers as a hair channel, but it's grown into her being the actual brand and people approaching her.
In companies
Constantly approaching her about different
and people and groups. Can you come and speak?
Right. Can you come and speak? She's been on platforms. she's just walking around here like right now, she's up and out the door. She's at the gym. If she wanted, maybe there's something about healthy eating or exercise, right? Something about health. You can have your own platform if you want.
And you know the beauty of it, the more unique you are, you become who you are. You will discover that as you go through your day, when you walk, you can go to the grocery store and someone will say, "Are you her flyness that did the so?" Yes. You know what? I'm with so and so. This and that. Here's my card. I'm glad I ran into you. I want to touch base with you, and because I have an idea, maybe we can work together. You and my organization. You know, you'll be shocked that now that you put yourself out there, now someone else sees you, and you just walk through your day.
Yep.
Opportunities just walk up to you because you put yourself out there for them to be able to find you.
Find you. They have to be able to find you.
If they don't know that you exist, they can't find you.
Yes. Yep.
Does that make sense, anyone?
Yep.
And you'll be surprised at the level of the ideals or the opportunities that come to you. But don't dismiss something it may seem like it's real small. What I did is only affecting one small little child. You know what?
Right.
Let it be.
Right. There might be something like a motivation channel that you want to start.
You don't know who that child is.
Yep. I didn't know I was going to create a children's channel and create and have a CD, have downloadable music now from a children's channel, because someone said there's something about your voice. And then another person said there's something about your voice. And then another person said there's something about your voice. But I was so used to singing to kids and just having fun that I wasn't focusing on my voice. I was focusing on the kids.
The God's Rain says, makes sense to me. I struggle with stopping when ideals come to me.
Yep.
The God's Rain, just write them down then.
Yep. And you can always go back and pick up those ideas.
Before you stop, just say, add this component in it. Ideal, write down.
Yep.
And then if you want to put stop after that, then go ahead and stop. But at some point, come back to your list of ideals and begin to mine those things, because I'm telling you, 98% of the ideas you think that you're thinking of are being given to you from upstairs. Okay?
Yeah.
They're being given to you.
Because this is what God wants you to do as you move through life. He wants you, He created us to create. He created us to create.
Right. We're created
and inspire
in His
others.
image, and He's the creator.
He wants us to inspire others. And if we don't get past those fears about thinking about what is auntie such and such going to think? What is my mom going to think? What is my kids going to think? What if such and such, what happened? What are they going to think? What are my coworkers going to think? We don't get past that area. So guess what? All of these dreams and ideas die because we can't get past what someone said.
And you know what? All those people that got something to say, they're creators also who are operating in fear.
But
false
guess
evidence
what?
appearing real.
Yep.
And you know what? While they're operating in fear, their fear is so great, the only thing they know to do is when they see someone else who's about to just ignite from their ideals, their whole mission in life becomes, how can I stop them?
Yes.
How can I stop Patricia Costa? How can I convince Frances Blazek that her ideal is no good? I gotta convince her flyness that she's nothing.
Yep.
And she will never be nothing, and she better not.
Yep. And they're projecting their own limitations. They're projecting their own limitations on you because they won't do it, and they would love to see you fail.
That's exactly it.
They're watching you, and they would love to see you fail.
Because to see you fail, it validates to them that their experience is okay.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You got to start to get comfortable. You got to get comfortable about people talking about you behind your back.
Or in front of your face.
And you know they are, right.
And smiling at
laughing
you.
At
the biggest smile in the world. And you know they're calling you everything but a child of God to anyone who'll listen.
Right. laughing because, or not even that, they're upset that you're happy, that you're doing the thing that you love.
And
she thinks she's all that. Yep, sure do.
And you can't worry
because
about.
guess what? God said that we're that and more. But we put limitations on ourselves. God created us. He created you. He created Jennifer Real in her individuality, exuding with different ideas.
Do you think anyone in Nazareth looked at Jesus as who he really was? Jesus, him? That's Joseph's son, the carpenter's son. Oh, I remember him. He used to play kickball in the dust over by so-and-so. He ain't nobody. Don't tell me about no Jesus. But the people outside of Nazareth, what were they saying?
Yep.
So you may have to get far beyond your family members even. Put that thing out there and let it do what it does.
Right. Because you don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to change up your voice. If you like to sing, then sing. If you like to dance, then dance. If you like to use Mod Podge, then use Mod Podge. If you like to use a glue stick, and that's all the stuff you then do, glue stick ideas. If you like to use Dollar Tree products to make stuff, then use Dollar Tree products to make stuff.
There's somebody out here that's listening right now that makes their own hair concoction that they put in their hair. And they've been doing it for years. I don't know if maybe you created it. Maybe it was passed down through the family. But there is no reason why you can't put that thing together and get it out there. You're sitting on this thing. You're wondering, how can I change my circumstances? And you've been doing this for decades. It's right there in front of you.
Yep.
It's right there. It's right there. Release it. Exactly, Francis. But who does God say you are? That is exactly.
And that's what keeps me going. That's why I don't take kindly like, hey, Tracey, how do you deal with your critics? I don't.
What critics?
I don't. Come with it all. Oh, yeah, there's other card making channels. Okay. There's only one Mindless Crafting.
Valerie Moore says, my father would always say, if I claim to believe in God's teaching, then I need to learn to walk by faith. He will never fail you.
Yep.
But I don't see how, I can't see the big picture. Don't worry about it. Can you see the foot? If you take one step, even if in darkness, if you can put it down and all you can stand on is that one piece of ground underneath your foot, I know in his word, it says he will enlarge the foundation of your footsteps.
Yep.
It said that. Now, I may not know the whole book, but I know I read that. So if I take that step, that foundation will be enlarged. So what happens if I take another step?
Yep.
What if I get enough steps, I'm going to have a pretty big foundation starting to form around me.
Look at that. Her flyness said, I knew someone that created hair products during the shutdown due to products being discontinued. Yep.
Exactly.
You know how many people created businesses
and now
just from that thing?
And now refuse to go back to a job.
So many people, and the thing was, they've always had it inside them, but they took the opportunity to start at that moment. From one word, look, once again, do I need to say this for the people in the back? From one word becomes many. From one idea, many ideas. From one person, right? From one Tracey. Look, my pen trying to mess me up here. Where's my pen?
Exactly, Francis.
Trying to
the
dry
prayer
out.
of Jabez.
You're not going to stop me from writing this down and sharing, right? From one Tracey, many different things. I still have more stuff to do, right? There may still be a book coming from me, you know? I might have a
Could be podcast.
I could have a podcast. It might be something that has to do with music. right?
It might have something with just pure motivation.
Just motivation in itself, right? There's so many, and there's more. As I walk through life, from one idea sparks many others. What will the motivation be? It could be a book, right? What will the music be? It could be lyrics to a song, right? I could be a songwriter if I wanted to, right? Because y'all know I love to take words and make up stuff, right? Who has to understand this? Who has to understand this? All I got to do is pray about it and then execute. Music, where's that going to come from? Well, I got my husband right here, right? We've done it before. We could do it again. What's the podcast going to be about? Marriage, maybe.
Let me cut it on and let's see what happens.
Business, right? Business. Motivation.
But you know what's really
Is
interesting?
all of these, you see all of these ideas happening?
When you start doing whatever, whether it's your podcast, music, channels, books, anything, the people that you're talking to are going to tell you what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, Sarah Johnson, do you think you can speak on so-and-so? Sarah, do you think you can do this? Sarah, you think you can create this? Do you think you, and just make sure that your answer is always, yes, I can. But I don't know how. Yes, I can. But how do you, don't worry about how. Just know that the answer is, yes, I can. And start taking that first step and wait for the foundation to be enlarged around that step. And it will be enlarged, believe me.
It will.
The ideals, the understanding, everything is getting ready to be enlarged step by step. Thank you, Martha Lester. Martha says, I love watching you guys. You're so funny.
You know, and it's not like we're trying to be. It's just the way it is. You know, like a lot of people say, man, how do y'all come up with what to speak about? It just comes. We don't run out of it. Y'all are here with us. We just start speaking. Turn on the camera and start speaking. And look, Tracey, what will your book be about? Life, right?
And this is just Tracey right here. We're not even talking about the thousands and thousands of people that are going to watch this particular viewing right here, right. This video, when it's no longer live, but it's actually an upload.
Right.
Instead of having Tracey, you replace it with your name,
right.
and who you are and your ideals and your thought process.
Right. Because you can change this and put Sarah. What is Sarah wanting to do? What is her flyness wanting to do? Change that out and the trajectory becomes different. Because your thing doesn't have to be my thing. But I can respect your thing. That's where the problem is, that people think because they didn't do it, neither should you. So yeah. I need to tell her, child, I had a friend that did that. It didn't work.
To do that.
It didn't work. I don't know the economy.
Boy, everybody in town was laughing.
I don't know the recession. The recession, you know.
Everybody in town laughed at it. But, it's pretty funny.
Products
people
like
in the
that,
other towns wasn't laughing.
Right, exactly. Products like that don't really work too well. Ariel started her channel when she said, Mom, so many people ask me about my hair. Now, and her hair came to be when we were in the hospital. We couldn't really do much with her hair. And so her hair journey actually started in the hospital. So what we would do, we would braid it up and do a lot of protective styles on her hair. So that's what I would do. And so one of the medications that was like a chemo-like medication that she was taking, and she was only about maybe 13, 14 years old. And so I would not tell her that the medication was supposed to make her skin break out and her hair fall out. I didn't want to tell her that, because sometimes the thing that happens, just because it happened to one person doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. So I would like give her certain parts of information, but I didn't want to give her the whole picture. But I wanted to make sure that she knew. Sometimes when you know a thing, that thing happens to you, or you focus on a thing, then that's what happens to you. You know what ended up happening to her hair? Her hair flourished. God kept her. He kept her hair. Guess what happened to her skin? Skin got smoother. We talking about in the hospital now, in and out the hospital several times. I didn't want to tell her
what the experts say.
What the drug supposed to do to you.
According to the experts.
According to experts. Her hair just kept growing and growing and growing, not knowing that in college, her first year in college, people started asking her questions. Man, why does your hair look so healthy? God's thing was, I need her to hold on to her hair because I got something.
Francis says you spoke life over her.
I've got something bigger for you. I need her to have all her hair because down the road, remember, when you're looking into the future and you have doubts, God is already there. He wanted her to keep that head of hair because I want to make something. I want you to be on a bigger platform. I got dreams for you. I got ideas for you. And once she said, Mom, so many people, this is her first year in college, asked me about my hair. I said, me and Bill were like, well, why don't you answer the questions by creating videos? Answer the question. Other girls are admiring the thing that you have because she was still figuring out what is my thing going to be.
And name the video the question that they're posing to you.
Right. Look, me and Bill, we got
name the video by the question. Did she get
one of our cameras? She started with that. We got her a camera one time for her thing. We went to her dorm room, bought her a little desk, and she started recording from that little desk and putting it out there. Putting it out there, y'all.
And you know what? Ariel graduated with honors from college in 4 years. There was no 5 and 6 years. She graduated with honors from college, and she's never had the time to even have a normal job.
Yep.
Because she was just bombarded.
You're talking about
from
brand
every
deals.
Angle.
Yep.
She never had time to have a normal job.
One idea. And now that's her brand.
Sonia Creel says, my special needs aunt went through chemo and never lost a string.
Yep. Because here's the thing. Sometimes we focus on the thing. If we focus on it too much, that's what our life will be. If I would have told her, Ariel, your hair is going to fall out. You're going to have some skin outbreaks.
So just deal with it. Just face it.
You're going to have this and that. God is saying, focus on me. I didn't tell you to focus on Auntie such and such who keeps putting you down. Focus on me. I didn't tell you to focus on your own mom who keeps putting you down. Focus on me.
And you know what?
Your coworkers, who told you to think about your coworkers and have them play that same thing over and over in your head about you're not good enough?
And you know what? I remember that time when one of Ariel's relatives came into the hospital room and told her, well, child, just deal with it. You will never go to college. No college for you because of this sickness. Yeah. Tracey
I was so mad.
Get out of my child's room. You will not speak this nonsense into her spirit. You will not.
Child, they were trying me.
Okay. Get out.
She said it so casually. Oh, looks like there's no college for you.
Bye.
We had already
Bye, Felicia.
Me and Ariel had already have a conversation. She said, Mom, all I want to do is get past this, and I want to go to college, and I want to graduate in 4 years.
Let's get the application.
4 years.
Let me go get it.
She's only in 7th grade, 7th or 8th grade. She's like, I just want to be like normal. I want to go to college, and I want to graduate in 4 years. I said, well, let's make it happen. Because I'm not going to say, let's look at this. I know what God's promise is, and whatever the outcome may be, he's already there because he told me. Because he told me. Because he told me. So guess what ended up happening? Guess what ended up happening? And here was the thing. I want to live on campus. That was one of her things. I want to live on campus. I want to be a college student. Well, let's make it happen. And she went to work. When she was sick, she would go down, but she was still good to go because guess what? We prayed about this. We prayed about this. There's something bigger than what she was. There's something bigger. It's larger than the sickness. And I remember when she told the counselor, when they asked, because you go through so much pain, there's a mental toll that can take on you. And they were like, you seem like the most positive person. That's what they were telling Ariel. You seem so positive. She said, because I know I am not Crohn's disease. I'm Ariel Wilson. That's what she told him. I'm Ariel Wilson. I am not the disease.
You know what? Ariel was so positive going around to all the different kids in the hospital, even while she was there.
She sure was.
That for years, even after she was out of the hospital, the child care of Atlanta, they actually put Ariel's picture on the banner. Remember that?
I remember because someone actually
her
called
face
us.
was on
we
the
didn't
banner.
even know.
I didn't even know.
Someone called us and told us.
Say, why is your child is on the banner of the hospital? Hey,
that was the start of a platform.
And you know what, Ariel, her spiritualism deepened in a way that was far beyond anything that I've ever seen. Matter of fact, even to this day, every single day, there's not a day that passes that Ariel does not go outside in the morning. It's off sometimes in the dark. It can be 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. She goes outside
in the backyard.
The backyard and prays and praises God by herself.
That's her first thing. Yeah.
That's the very first thing she does every day. She doesn't skip a single day.
Not a single day.
No one told her to do this.
And then she gets to work.
She never discussed this with us. We just saw her going outside. And you know what? I never asked her.
Never asked her. That's her thing.
If you're called to worship or pray in the way that you're called, then that's what you do.
That's what you do.
Someone may tell you to go into a closet. Someone may tell you to go on your roof. You know what I'm saying? Someone may tell you to do it in the kitchen while you cook breakfast for your family. I don't know what it is that you're being told to do, but whatever it is, that's what you do.
Yeah. It's not for us to ask her.
But just know that you can't do it by yourself.
We don't have to question it.
You need God.
We don't have to question it. So we're just saying, like, after one idea, because we could have been the parents that said, well, girl, you need to go get a job, okay? This is her job. This is her job. Girl, you need to go.
Ain't nobody else doing that.
Stop that YouTube stuff, girl, and go find a job. Stop playing.
Well, let me go outside and see what God say. Well, God told me to do this video, so I can't go do that right there because he didn't say do that. So, see ya, Felicia.
Yep, that's exactly what she does. And she's the kindest person. She doesn't put airs on. As many brand deals as she got, she could have been one of them young people who like, look at me, I'm this such and such, I'm this and that. Just as humble as can be.
And you know what? Here's
just as humble. Chelsea too. Just as humble as can be. Chelsea is in a high-powered job. Her and her future husband, my future son-in-law, just as kind and just as humble as can be. Yeah.
And you know something that's really interesting. Okay, Ariel invited us to go to one of the things that she was speaking at. It was in this huge facility. At the place by the airport, Tracey. I can't think of the name.
Oh, the hair show. Yeah.
Right, but it was a huge, huge place, right? So we go in there, and as we're walking in, it must be thousands of people in this one room.
People, yeah.
And people are like, "Hey, aren't you?" And she could barely walk. And next thing you know, it's a TV show going on right there, and the person is live, and all of a sudden they come over, and they call her over, and next thing you know, she's on this one show, and she's talking here. Then she leaves that, and we go down here, and this thing goes on, and then at some point, she's on the stage, her and three other people, and all these people are sitting in the audience. She's sitting on this platform, and they were all being interviewed and talking and recording. And I'm thinking, look at all of these people here.
Yeah.
And this is a normal day for you? Because if we don't see that part of her life, we just see her here recording or this and all of a
Right,
sudden
saying
rushing
some
out
of
to
the stuff.
something. And
Yeah.
every so often she'll invite us.
Always some
Could
kind
you
of
come to this
event.
with me?
Yep. Yep.
And that all started just from saying,
One
from
idea.
someone saying, "What do you do with your so and so?
With your hair?" And her
Can
saying,
you put it in a video?"
not only that, no, we told her to change into the video, but the person would ask her questions, and we were like, Ariel, answer the questions, create a YouTube channel, and answer any questions that they have.
And just name it
And
the
guess
question
what she
that you
said?
were asked.
And she said yes. We were just offering suggestions. If she would have said no, that would have been fine too.
Exactly.
She said yes.
But you don't have to. But YouTube may not be it. It may be something else. But
It
whatever
could
it
be something
is,
else.
answer the call.
Yep. Whatever it is. Let me see what God's Rain had said. Something.
God's Rain, we said some stuff.
She had said something.
I have to find it. Hold up. God's Rain. I find I'm my own worst enemy because I struggle with my focus and my discipline to plan and follow through.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people struggle with that. Yeah.
You know what? God's Rain. Hold up. Let me go find this.
You're at 5% power on your phone, Sonia Creel.
Okay, God's Rain. Look at this. There's a book. You've probably seen this before. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah.
Tiny changes, remarkable results. Pick up this book. But before you even get to this book, go on YouTube and type in Atomic Habits by James Clear. Start looking at some of those videos, and you'll be surprised at the very small things you can begin to do to make those kind of changes that will allow you to increase your ability to focus, will increase the discipline, will increase your ability to plan, it will increase your follow through just by, I can't seem to go out and run in the morning. It seems to be so much to do. He'll have you think I'm okay, well, what's stopping me? I need to be able to arrange my living environment in such a way that when I get up, I've already had my workout clothes by the bed. I have a snack bar right there, a bottle of water, my door key. I get up, put on my stuff, whatever it is I have to do right then, go out the door, bye-bye. You want to create your environment in such a way that you don't have to think, I want to run, what do I have to do? I got to go find me something to wear. Did I wash that? Is it clean? Is it too cold? You got to set it up in such a way where there's no thought.
Right. Look at this now. It's amazing that Bill should get this particular book, right? Look how God speaks to us. Many people walk through life in a cognitive slumber, blindly following the norms attached to their identity. Look what they say. I'm terrible with directions. I'm not a morning person. I'm bad at remembering people's names. I'm always late. I'm not good with technology. I'm horrible at math. All of these self-doubts. And there's so many of them. But the fact that you brought this, tiny changes, remarkable results. Tiny changes, not big ones, small ones.
They say if you start doing things, set up an agenda, just a small 1% change per day, 1%. And that 1% could mean one thing.
Yep.
But a 1% change, just add things on it each day. Keep doing it until I get better. Add some more things. Keep doing it until I get better. A 1% change each day. At the end of 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than you are. Now, think about something that you do right now. Imagine being 37 times better at that one thing than you are right now at this moment, 365 days from now.
Yep.
Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So the God's reign, it's good that you've identified the problems, but now it's time to take these steps. Before you even get to this book, but order this book. Go to YouTube and look up Atomic Habits, James Clear. And you're going to see a number of videos, audio books, everything. Just if you have to cut that on, just have it playing in your house as you walk around while you craft.
Yep.
Then so be it. If something, whenever an idea comes to you while you're listening to that, stop for a second, write it down, and begin to add that to whatever it is you do each day. Sonia Creel says, I just got the book The Servant.
Oh.
I'm gonna write that down. I don't know about it. I'm gonna look at that over,
Servant.
Sonia.
Yep.
The God's reign. I hope that helped you out some. I really do.
One small step for mankind, one giant step for God in your life. Yep. Don't put limits on yourself. You deserve this. Don't put limits on yourself.
And the God's reign, I thank you for your transparency of actually saying that. Some people would have kept that to themselves, but I'm glad you put it out there, because when you put it out there, someone else is going to put something else out. You put that out there, I put this out there. So now the ball is in your court.
Right.
And I would love to see.
And some of you may be super organized where you can speak on something like that, right? You can form a channel that has to do with just that. You know? Organization. There's so much.
Oh, look at Tina. Cindy W says, Cindy says, her sister was born January of 1958, 3 months early. They, the experts, okay, the world-renowned specialists, they said that she wouldn't make it through the night. Guess what? She turned 65 last year.
Wow. Isn't that something else?
Isn't that powerful, y'all?
And that's that doubt. We're the doubt that comes from people telling us that we can't. Bill, go read my comment before that, Tina Barker.
Okay. Whew.
Yep, Sarah, God orders our steps.
Tina, I weighed 2 pounds, 11 ounces. Tina says, I was born in 1958, 2 months premature. Doctor told parents I would not live through the night. Family and friends prayed. Tina Barker turned 65 years last year. 2 months. So it's 2 people in here that something like that happened. Isn't that? She only weighed 2 pounds.
Wow.
I remember being in the hospital when the doctor came. I was in the hospital with Ariel, and something had happened. I forgot what they called it. But you remember that, Tracey, right? They said,
she had pancreatitis.
But no, remember those doctors came, they were talking about the arteries. Well, she has something, vena cricula.
Oh, something. Yeah, it was something very intricate.
And the way the vein is so close to so-and-so, it can't be operated on. And the way they were talking, they were almost talking with a sense of finality. And I was saying, so what are you saying? So when is she going to get, what can we do about that? Okay, when is she getting better? And I'm telling you, the 2 doctors were looking at me, and they looked like they were doing everything in their power to keep a straight face. I saw one of their faces quivering, and I thought they were going to break out crying. They were looking at me, hoping, I could tell they were hoping and praying that I wouldn't break out and start crying, because I don't think they could have held it. And I'm thinking to myself, I know y'all don't think y'all were telling me that my child, like this is the end of the road or something, because this ain't what God told me. God sent me someone. I was in a restaurant, and the person told me, before Ariel got sick, I was in a restaurant and the guy came up. He said, "You know what? I don't want to alarm you, sir, but God told me to tell you that that thing that's happening for your daughter has already been taken care of." Now, I thought he was talking about a class, but later on, after Ariel got sick for 5 years in and out of the hospital, and when she became healed, I realized he was talking about her. So I had to stand on something that was different than what even the doctor had said. I was given a message from someone else, doctor. I'm sorry, doctor. A man walked up to me and told me that that thing with your daughter is already taken care of. Sometimes you can't listen to a doctor.
Not only that, you can't listen to self-doubters. Because you really have to protect the thing that it is that you want to do. Because if you don't protect that and you allow certain things to seep in, I already have some doubt sometimes my own self. So now imagine another person putting even more doubts on me. And that's why we encourage and we uplift. Because there's someone on here who's going to do the next big thing, the next big idea. And so why should I discourage that? Somebody right now is going to create something that we can't even imagine. It could be a tool for crafting. It could be a new kind of spoon for cooking or something. I mean, I don't know. It could be a new glue, whatever it is. Everything that you can possibly imagine is there's a possibility that hasn't been created. People will tell you, "Oh, there's already too many of those." Yeah, but not the one that you do.
Sarah says I press. It could be I press on, but I press because when I was 2 years old, my babysitter put gasoline in our wood stove and my legs got burnt.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not supposed to be here, so I put my hands to everything because I'm glad that I'm alive. You know, God said, "You know what,
Wow.
Sarah? I know your legs are burnt, but I don't need your legs for this part of the journey. All I need is your hands and your obedience."
Yep. All I need is your heart.
That's all I need.
Right. That's all I need. You
But
may
God,
not have
my
this.
legs. What about my leg?
And that's what my mother says.
How about your legs? Right.
That's what my mother always says. She says she don't dwell on the eye that she can't see from, because my mother has lost vision, total eye vision in one eye. She said, but that's why God blessed us with two eyes. She said, because I could still use the other one.
But God, everybody else leg got their legs. I ain't talking about everybody else's legs.
Right. This is your journey. Yeah.
Matthew, like, them legs look just fine to me.
So I hope that y'all were encouraged. What was supposed to be 10, Bill talking about, we're going to go on for 10 minutes.
That's what I said too.
Yep. We're going to go on for 10 minutes. Oh, Sonia Krill, I know, right? Love it. Happy tears hearing the testimonies and encouragement. Because if I don't share what's on my heart, right? If I don't share what's on my heart, God will put a message in you that you're supposed to share with someone else so that that person can be encouraged. Because there's a lot of people right now that are discouraged. They woke up feeling like, this is it. This is my life. But I'm here to tell you, this is not your life. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You got more living to do.
You barely begun.
Don't put limits on yourself because of your age. We started a YouTube channel when I was in my 40s. Right? I'm 60 now. What were we, like 47, maybe 48 when we started the channel? Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you're too old to do this. No, you're not. It's never too late. As long as you get up and you have breath in your lungs and you're breathing, you still can do great things.
Some of y'all are crafting lying in y'all beds, okay? Creating things that people with every machine, every advantage can't even begin to understand. But you're lying in your beds, releasing into the world, okay? Changing lives forever. And I want to thank you for being obedient for doing that.
Be obedient. If you're in the bed, get a pen and pencil. If you're feeling a little bit under the weather, get a pen and a notebook and start writing things down. Look, there's someone on here that loves drawing. Draw it out if you have to. Draw it out.
Oh, Bridget and her flyness. Her flyness says, I plan on staying in bed all day until now. Thanks so much for the encouragement. Bridget Husky says, this channel has been such a blessing. God allowed me to hear what I needed to hear, even if it's only a small portion.
Yep. You can always watch the replay, Bridget. You can watch the replay.
Sometimes those small portions is all you need.
Imagine we thought we were playing a game yesterday that I just said, oh, this used to be something I love doing. Let me share it with all of you. From one word, many words, hundreds. From one person, from one Tina, many ideas. From one Kim, many ideas. From one Bridget, many ideas. Gate 10, one person, many ideas. Somebody needs to hear this. Write it down. You have these ideas. Write it down. You don't have to share it with anybody. God knows.
Thank you, Kim.
God knows what's in your heart.
Exactly. That's like, I remember the time, I think I shared the story with you where I didn't have a Bible because I had given my Bibles away. And now here it was, I didn't have a Bible. And I felt like, man, I need a Bible. And one of my friends from childhood happened to be visiting. He had a Bible in his car. He said, Bill, look, I have a Bible right here. It's not the best. It's missing quite a few pages, but take this one until you can get one. Here, take this Bible. And he gave it to him. It was a nice Bible, study Bible, but just like he said, it was missing quite a few pages, right? After he left, I tried to look it over, but it had so many pages missing. I was like, man, all these pages missing and this and that. And so I would just complain. Day after day, I would tell Tracey, look at all these pages missing. Pages missing. And all of a sudden, just as clear as day, just as clear as I'm sitting here talking to you, I heard a voice that said, but have you read the pages that you do have?
There you go.
I was like floored. And here's the thing. We oftentimes live in a state of seeking perfection. I don't have everything I need.
Yeah.
Some of my pages are missing. How can I step up to the plate when everything is not in a state of absolute perfection?
Yep. Doesn't have to be.
But have you read the pages that you do have?
Yep.
Have you done what you can do with what you have? All I have is a paper and a pencil.
That's enough.
Okay, well, what can you do with the paper and pencil that I have given you? I don't have the best camera. All I have is a cell phone. Well, you know what? That's all you need right now.
Yep. What is it? What are the things that you do well? 5 things. Just 5 things that you do well. So let me start with me. I feel like I can teach pretty good, right? I sing okay, but I think I do 5 things. 5 things about me that you feel like you do pretty good. Craft. So you see the ideas, right?
Motivate.
Teach, sing, craft. So you talk about 5 things that you do well, right? I can clean really good, okay? I can clean some stuff. So now you wrote this. There's so much more though, but let's start with just the 5 things. And then teach. You teach well. What can you teach, right? So going back to that, of course, we have it here already. I teach crafts. right?
This you could have a hundred
So
things come off
much,
of that.
right? There's so many, gift baskets. I think I teach that pretty good, right? But then you have singing. And so from singing, you never know. There could be what? It's like a downloadable music, right? You can be a songwriter. Someone will pay you just for the words, right? You can be a songwriter. And what does that take? What does that entail, right? And then you craft. What do you like to craft? Hey, you can do, if you want to draw or paint or whatever,
Whatever it may be.
Right? It could be cards. It could be, you can do something like embellishments, right? Depending on what you like. And this is just very limited, but still, it gives you a starting point. And then motivate. What do you like to motivate about what? What is it that you motivate?
Is there a certain group? Is it adults? Is it kids? Does it seem to be everybody?
Right. It could be adults, right?
Where are you when the use is takes place?
You could get even more specific, right? Motivate. This is where you can have that podcast come in, right? How will you motivate? You can motivate through a podcast, right? And then with cleaning, I'm getting better with my craft room, right? Because right now, clean more like what, organization type cleaning, right? These are like some of the things, right? So this is just a short list, but from this list comes many ideas, right?
Right. It may seem like nothing, but you know what? How many of you heard the story of the secretary who got tired of making mistakes, and she created? It happened to constantly start over. So she made a paste that she brought to work and used it. And other people in her office started using it. And they said, why don't you market this? So she said, oh, okay, I'll put this out there. And within 18 months, she got picked up by 3M, and they released a product worldwide known as Whiteout. I think she made $20 million from a single ideal. Just because she got tired of a problem that was nagging at her.
For sure.
Oh, that's nice. Favorite music song says, where I am, they have positive billboards that send a motivational message. And I just saw one that says, it's never too late. Meet the 86-year-old grandma who just graduated from college with a master's.
Wow. Cindy says, I'm always putting a but behind my...
All behind all my can-dos.
Oh, yes. Behind your can-dos. Yep. That's true. That is so true. How many times, I do want to do such and such, but I don't have such and such.
You know what? Then what you do, come up with a phrase like, but it's wonderful, or something like that. So every time you get ready to put but, I could do so and so, but it's wonderful.
I would start a YouTube channel, but I don't have a fancy camera. You don't have to. You have a camera, you have a phone with a camera. Start there.
Every time you encounter a but, you may have to substitute with, and I'm so glad that I have, and stop right there. Whenever you get ready to say but, stop for a second, get a paper and pencil, and write down the things that you have that's going to make that possible. And start reading that until it drowns out the but. And you can begin to say it to yourself without the but being in that thought process, in that thought chain. Okay, favorite music songs. You say, I tend to say one day. So how about saying today? Instead of saying one day, today, I'm going to take the first step towards.
Or even this weekend, right?
Right. Today at 6:00 p.m., I'm going to take the first step towards. So you may have to give yourself a time to prepare. Right. So get rid of someday and put a time on it when you're getting ready to take the first step.
Yep.
I don't know the whole journey, but the first step is this.
There might be somebody on here that wants to do photography, and you think you have to have a high-powered camera, but your phone is your camera. All you have to do is look up how to edit photographs in your camera using your camera.
Right. If you can't get the big picture out of your head, then start at the big picture and work your way backwards until you get to where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then start from where you are right now and begin to fill in all the blanks.
Yeah.
As much as you know how. And stop right there, put it on the calendar, and start doing the things you know right now. And I promise you, you're going to grow to the point where the next steps are going to start to reveal themselves. And now you fill those out. And work your way up until, I guarantee you, by the time you get to what you thought was the final conclusion, you're going to discover that that part where you started and initially you thought was the end is somewhere well in the middle.
Yep. Today is the day for breakthrough. So many of you have ideas and you're sitting on those ideas and they're just waiting to come out. Waiting to come out. Some of you have
exactly, Francis.
Have poetry that can be turned into music.
Francis says today is the day for breakthrough.
Yep.
Right, today. Today.
Even if it's just writing out your list. All you gotta do is pick up the pen and just start writing.
How many of you, if you saw your child there and you knew that if you couldn't get some food in your child's mouth, in her stomach, today he or she was going to die, how many of you would come up with a reason or a but to stop you from getting some food to your child? If you had to go knocking door to door, begging, whatever it was, you would get some food in your child's stomach. There would be no why big enough,
determined,
no butt tall enough for you to stop you from getting over it. There would be no wall too high or too strong. And it's the same thing. Tracey said something to me the other day, and I was kind of quiet when she said it, but I said, man, we were talking about the alarms, and all the alarms were going all, I had an alarm set for like 5, one for 5:15, one for 5:30, 5:45, and they'll ring, and sometimes Tracey will come down and cut them off, right? And I said, I just can't seem to wake up. And you know what she said? She said, that's because your why isn't big enough. And she's right. If the why was big enough, I promise you, I would get up at the very first one.
Well, the why is what keeps me going.
By Vera Duffy.
So, yeah, the why is what keeps me going. When I feel like I want to give up, I think about my why. So make the why bigger. So when you get ready to say someday, right? If
you still find yourself saying someday, then your why isn't big enough. Why do I want to do this? What are the things that if I do this, what could happen? Well, I can make more money. I can buy that house. I can do this. I can go here. I can start taking trips. I can get more time to be with my family. Whatever it is, make the why so big that all of a sudden someday and but just disappears. Because you think to yourself, you know what? Please, I'm getting up here working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7, because I'm allowing this why or this but to remain in place. Not this year, not in 2024. And you know what? Here's the thing that the pandemic did, right? There are employers right now who are highly upset because a lot of them can't even keep employees. Because once the pandemic came, employees, since I can't go to work, they had to become more self-reliant and start to discover the skills and talents that they have and begin to see how can I utilize them and how can I push them and put them out here in the world to somehow sustain myself. Once they began to see that that I can do this and I don't need you. I don't have to take this from you.
Yeah.
They said to themselves, I will not go back to a job, a just over broke situation anymore because I don't have to. Unless you step up to the plate in a whole nother way.
And that's somebody who wanted to not be in a 9 to 5, you know. There's still some people that are, a lot of people that are still in the 9 to 5, but one of their biggest dreams was to not be in the 9 to 5. That was one of their goals, which may be different from someone else's goal.
Right, but what happens? They were in a situation where they had no choice, though. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, so, I'll say that.
I'm gonna take that thing away
they
so that you can focus on the thing that you said that you wanted to do. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having a job and that sort of thing like that. But I want to say this just to say that when faced within a situation where you have no other choice, and you begin to listen to yourself and take those steps, you will be surprised at the end result. Right, favorite music song says the fears we don't face, not can, but will become our limits.
Yeah, that is so true.
DX says just popped in and it's Friday. What's the special occasion?
Special occasion is that somebody has ideas, and they have lots of ideas. And we're talking about taking those ideas. What is it that's coming from you as an individual? The Egg, I'm sure, has a ton of ideas that you may have not written down. It's time to start writing those ideas down. Even if you don't act upon it, write them down. Right. My grandmother used to say, don't look behind you, look in front of you. Yeah? We're still looking in the rearview mirror. We're still focusing on a marriage that may have failed, right? A relative that did something to you. We're still focusing on that, so we're having a hard time moving forward in that thing we're supposed to do because we don't feel worthy anymore.
Or we feel stuck.
Yeah, we feel stuck, and we feel like we're not good enough. Or we don't deserve it. You deserve it.
Right. Well, I've carried this problem with me for so long. I can't even let it go. Everybody that knows me, when they see me, they know me by this, just like the woman with the issue of blood. Everybody, they didn't give her name. That's who they call in the Bible. She's known. That's her name is the woman with the issue of blood. Okay. But at some point, she said, you know what? I have carried this long enough. I refuse to go another day, not when I know that I've heard that there is a man, there is a way where I can release this and never look back. You know what I'm saying? DFC says, yes, don't use the rearview mirror unless you're planning on backing up.
Yeah.
That's a deep one right there.
So yeah, this 10-minute live has turned into what, an hour and a half?
Probably longer than that.
But there was a message that needed to be, there was a message that needed to come through us today. And hopefully you're being blessed by it. Look, you better say it, favorite music songs. I have a notebook full of $1 million ideas. Yes. You better say it, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It really doesn't.
I can promise you this, it won't, chances are pretty strong, it won't mean much to anyone near to you, like family members.
It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else, as long as it makes sense to you.
Right. Because there's somebody out there that it does make sense to, believe me.
Yep. You were created to create something. There's something that can only come through you.
Lily McGee says, hello, hello, hello. I woke up and saw a red dot. We're just about to get off now,
Yep.
Lily, but that's okay.
About to go have some breakfast at lunchtime. Lottie said, I got to get off here and eat dinner.
We get ready to get off and eat
Eat
breakfast.
breakfast. Yep. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and head on out of here. I really hope that this has helped you in some way. Um, just getting on and having a discussion. Not crafting, but just talking to you. Talking about ideas. We're not just crafters. We're multifaceted individuals with God-given gifts. Period. God gave you the gift to use it. God didn't give you the gift so that someone else can say, oh, your gift is not that good. Ah, your idea is not that good.
Well, they can say it, but you don't have to listen.
Right.
Because you're not their child, you're his child. I listen to my daddy. I don't listen to you, my heavenly daddy.
So write it, even if it's a poem that you've written. You've written some poetry or even some words that you want to talk about. You want to speak about something that's in your heart. Get a notebook. Decorate it because we crafters. Decorate it because we like to make stuff look pretty. And write it out. Write out that thing. Write out the ending of the story. If you don't have the beginning, I don't have the beginning figured out. I don't have the title. Write it out.
And work your way backwards to where you are right now.
Write it out. I only have one chapter. Write it. Write the one chapter.
Friday says, I got my composition book open right now.
Go ahead and do that thing. List the 5 things that you're good at. 5 things that you think you're good at.
Exactly, Martha.
And then start from there. 5 things. Here's the 5 things that you enjoy doing. What are 5 things that you enjoy doing? Start from there. Oh, you're so welcome, Lindaville. She said, Tracy and Bill, thank you. This picked up my spirit. You're so welcome.
And thank you, her flyness. She says, bless y'all and thanks so much for the encouraging words. Kim Worthen says, I ordered the journal cover digital. I haven't downloaded them yet this time. Kim, if you don't, I'm a phone call away.
Thank you guys for these nuggets today. I will apply them. Oh, you're so welcome, Kim.
Hey, y'all, I had an opportunity to talk to Kim Worthen. Her voice even sounded musical. She sounded like she was singing when she was talking to me.
Exactly. Write down the idea, y'all. Write it down. I forgot because you know what? I feel like I'm a pretty good writer too.
Exactly.
That's another thing, right? Let me write down my 5 things. We've been on for 2 hours and we didn't even craft, did we? Huh?
No,
How long
we
we been
didn't.
on?
About 2 hours.
About 2
but
hours.
You know
We
what?
didn't even craft. We just talked. We just had a conversation. I used to write poetry when I was growing up. Me too. I love to rhyme words and write lovely words and stuff. Look, Kim just remembered. She's a great photographer. Right. Look, we got poetry writers. We got photographers. What else? Let me see
everything.
Let me see at least one thing. One thing, y'all. We're amongst friends. Just one thing that you feel like you do well, or one thing that you enjoy doing.
Something that you would actually do for free.
Look at.
But it'd be nice to get paid for.
Yarn arts. Ooh, I love that channel. Knitting and crochet. Is it Adia? Adia Yarn. I need to go to her channel. She might have a course on crocheting and knitting. Bridget says, her flyness says sing. I like to write. Tina Barker likes to write. Uh-oh, I may have to visit. I may have to visit Adia's channel. I may have to go and look at your yarn crafts. Sing, Patricia says sing. Look, Jennifer Real said scrapbooking. Writing poetry. I enjoy crafting. I think I'm pretty good at it. Makes me happy. Yes. She said, yes, please come on over. Let me know what you want to learn and I'll do the video. Nice. Because I know we have a lot of knitters and crocheters on here also. Cindy likes to work in her garden. Singing, music is my number one. I write songs and poetry as well. Some poems I've turned into songs. Wow. Martha says, singing, I love to sing. Look, we got a lot of singers on here. Dee says she likes baking too.
Hi, Bertha. I just put the link to Adia Yarn Arts.
Favorite
I
music
went there.
songs.
She looks really interesting.
Says, I'm great. I'm a great organizer. Bertha says, hey, crafty family.
Sarah Johnson says, spend money. Hey, that's a talent.
Right. Look, Sarah, that's video on what is it called? Like, you know how people do different hauls for what they spend their money on? Here, this is what I got last week. Shout out to the singers. Because you know what they say? Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing. Sing a song. Look at that. Bridget says she's always wanted to know how to do a, what did you say, Grafgan or Afghan? Huh. Look at, you see what I'm saying? Look at y'all going over there. There's someone who got a voice on them, and they look.
Adia says, I think I sing as good as Mariah and Whitney, LMAO, but I don't. But I love singing out loud in my room. We have to sing and hang in our bathroom, and one of the things says, sing as though no one is listening.
Yep. There was a thing where I had a fear of speaking in front of audiences, which I think is still kind of like, ooh.
Sarah.
When that happens, I get kind of like, ooh, you know. So I think public speaking has always been somewhat of a fear for me. But once I started doing that thing and I get on a roll, it's like, that felt good. I shared with something with someone today, and it felt good. I can do little shorts on doing a graph-gan. Oh,
for people like me, we're like, what's a graph-gan?
Right, what's a graph-gan? I see the word Afghan in there, but a graph-gan. Okay.
Bridget says it's an Afghan created by a graph.
graph.
Now, what's a graph?
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I did put Adia Yarn Arts link up there in case y'all want to go check it out. I went to her channel and it looks really interesting. All right.
I also love making jewelry, painting, home decor, fashion, doll crafts. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Gilberta says her first soul is Popeye the Sailor Man. I blurted it out at a very quiet moment in church, just as the pastor said, let us pray. It's Popeye! That's to get your child out of here.
Gay 10 said knitting, see? Norma Johnson said, just being yourself is the best place to be. Yep. People burn out on YouTube because they're being something else. So they're putting on a
And it
performance.
becomes difficult.
And so it becomes hard because you're not being you, if that makes any
And
sense.
you know what? That's exactly why it's so difficult to go to just a job when we okay. Here's the thing: like, understand, there's nothing wrong with a job. Maybe me say that first. But when you have that thing that you know it has been in your spirit for so long,
Yes.
that you've ignored, that you listen to other people tell you that it's wrong for you to even think about or even look at it. So now you go to this other thing that you just simply is killing you.
Because you're supposed to be doing something else.
It's absolutely killing you. It seems like the only way you leave it is God will have to create circumstances for you to get fired and just usher out of there.
Or for you to just have to leave. Your kid will become sick and you realize that you need to be at the hospital. And it puts you in an uncomfortable situation where you have to make a move. Am I speaking about my own situation? Yes. You simply cannot exist unless you let go of that thing. And it was hard for me to let go of being in a position, being a librarian, doing the thing that I love for a while, but then it started to get, I didn't enjoy it as much anymore. And I was being pushed in another direction, right? And then Ariel's situation came about with her sickness. And it showed me that I've been focusing on the wrong thing for way too long. And that's what started to edge me out of it. Even before that, we were writing songs for the other channel. We were creating videos and stuff like that too.
It is not like she wasn't good. Tracey was an excellent librarian. Phenomenal. You can be phenomenal in that thing.
Yep.
Oftentimes,
and people won't understand. People won't understand. So you can be phenomenal at something, and then you change course.
Right. That's it. That's exactly it. All right.
Cindy W., I think I do have a video. Like when it first came out, that particular video about me doing when we released that particular stamp set.
But it's about 1,500 videos, so I really couldn't tell you which one it is right now. But it's definitely in there. I remember that video.
Yeah, I was coloring it. It would be like the I Love You stamp set, I believe. What is it called? Oh, that's the Valentine's. Hold on 1 minute.
Tina Barker says, I was 3, and my Sunday school teacher asked me to sing the class a song. My mama had me on her lap. I belted out, love and marriage goes together like a baby carriage. Mama looked like she was looking for a hole to crawl into.
Today has been so wonderful. Oh, thank you, Tanisha.
You know what? Her flyness. Now here's the thing. Let me show y'all something. Okay, then y'all have heard some of the things that her flyness has talked about, and some of her hopes and dreams, and the things that she wants to do, the singing, the writing, just everything. And now I read something. She says, being disabled and dealing with chronic pain and other things have me very discouraged. I do what I can when I barely have the energy, but I try. Now, here's the thing. Until her flyness said that, did any of you have the barest inkling that she was dealing with something like this?
But you sharing that, guess what that does?
It inspires.
That is where the inspiration starts. You have a story to tell.
Exactly.
This is where it starts. It's one thing to be crafting, but when you start to break down certain situations and things that you've been through in life, I want to hear the comeback stories. I want to hear how you still persevered. I don't want to hear everything was just wonderful, the end. No, I don't want to hear that. I need to hear how you got through this, how you're still able to motivate others, even when your situation may not look good to others.
Right, when
My
everybody,
situation may not look good to others, but I'm still blessed.
so when everybody around me told me that I couldn't take another step, they showed me all the scientific reasons and proof why I couldn't take another step. Even I began to believe I couldn't take another step. Now let me tell you the story of how I took another step. And I only say this, I only highlight your high flyness to say that when I listened to the things you were saying, I was so like, wow, her flyness is incredibly gifted, et cetera, et cetera. Understand, okay, you say I'm disabled and dealing with chronic pain. That still is not you. I applaud that you're taking each step, but that is not you. You are so much bigger than that.
Yes.
And who you are and what you do is going to help so many people. So many people who don't know how they can take that step.
We're blessed to have you on our platform.
Until they met you or heard about you or read about you.
Yep. We are blessed to have you on our platform right now. Because that right there, fall down 7 times, guess what? You get up on that 8th time and you keep winning. I fell down a couple of times, actually many times, but guess what? I have a winning spirit inside of me.
Okay.
I have a winning spirit inside of me, and God wants you to win. Believe that. God wants you to win.
Tanisha Creel says, I've been wanting to write this book on fatherless daughters, but every time I start, it's like other thoughts or emotions get in my way. I just don't know how to write in the first place. I need help. Tanisha?
Look, here's a search term, how to get started on writing my book.
Here, let me put the link for that in case y'all can't find it. I'm going to look it up on Amazon right quick. Because this book is so worth, even if you say, it takes me so long to read it, I can only read a page a day. Okay, read a page a day. How many pages in this book? Okay, let's see. If I read a page a day, this book has 250 pages in it. Okay, so I'll be done with it within a year. But after that, I got it. Okay.
Yep. Karen said, I understood the journey. I understood the journey. It is a long road, but it doesn't define me. Yes. Your flyness says, thanks so much, you all. Nothing but the grace of God and a few close people that love me. So many people wrote me off, and I did everything there could to knock me down. They did everything to knock you down, but I'm still here. You still got up. Yeah. You're winning. You got up today, you're winning. You were able to bless someone, you're winning.
Okay, I just put the link to that Atomic Habits. So y'all can eyeball it a little closer.
You're winning.
Her flight says, bless you all, I can't stop crying.
Oh,
that's all right.
Goodness.
Then don't stop crying. Let those tears, those cleansing tears.
It's okay.
Cleanse. So you have room to do even more. Right. You're emptying yourself so you have room for the pouring in that's coming in right now.
The outpouring. Yep. It's coming. Don't you dare give up. You grab that pen and paper and you can do this. Write down those things. Start writing them down. Okay, y'all. So, Mindless Crafting at Midnight will be on Friday, February 16th at 11:55 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern, right? I got so much stuff on the desk because I'm about to do some stuff in here. Actually, I got a video to release too. Scrapathon Saturday, February 10th, 11 o'clock to 3 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. Eastern.
I keep saying that. Scrapathon. I'm gonna be in my craft room today doing some journaling. Doing some journaling today and just kind of being at peace. You know, I feel like when I'm in my craft room and I don't even know if I'll have the TV on, I'm at peace.
I think I'm going down to my garage today.
Yeah. Okay, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get off of here today. Y'all take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day into the weekend, leading into the weekend. It's supposed to be 10 minutes, y'all. But I'm not going to apologize because there's someone on here that needed to hear this.
Nothing.
There's someone on here that needed to hear this message.
Valerie Moore says, I'm tagging my daughter. She needs to listen to this chat.
Yes.
Her finally says, always been embarrassed to share, but thanks again for allowing me to speak.
Don't you dare be embarrassed to share.
But
your testimony is going to be the light that someone needs.
The thing that someone has convinced you to be embarrassed at is where the healing is. That's the testimony is a healing, not only for you, but for others.
Yep, for others. Yep. Because there's someone else who can relate to what you're going through right now. And a lot of people on here saying, you know what, if I create a YouTube channel, who's going to watch? You're already getting ahead of yourself. Create the channel. Don't worry about who's going to watch. You be the light that guides that person through you.
You know what I'm saying, Ava Lee?
Yeah. All right, y'all. We absolutely love you. Y'all enjoy your weekend.
Exactly.
Continue to create beautiful things. And you just never know when me and Bill are going to show up. You just never know.
And feel free to visit mindlesscrafting.com. We have a bunch of stuff going on.
Yes, that too. All right, y'all. Y'all take care, and we absolutely love you. See you real soon.
Bye.